Is the Garmin R10 Approach monitor worth it in 2025? Let's talk about it. So over the span of these past few months, I've been building a garage sim behind me. One of the things that I struggled with purchasing was the actual simulator itself. I ended up going with the Garmin R10, and today I'm going to go over 5 points that will let you know if the $600 price point is still worth it in 2025. The first point we're going to talk about today is the actual price point of the Garmin itself. You can usually find these for $600 or less, and they're usually discounted as well. There was a sale this past spring that took about $120 off of that. I actually found mine on Marketplace for $400. You can find them for pretty cheap in the market, and for what the Garmin can do, I would say it's one of the most powerful launch monitors for under $1,000. The second point we're going to talk about is the comprehensive data metrics that it provides for the price. The Garmin can measure things such as club head speed, launch angles, side spin rates, and just the basic things like carry distance and yardage. And while it's not exactly accurate all the time, for the most part, it's pretty reliable. The third point we're going to talk about is its simulator integration and ecosystem that the R10 has. The R10 works perfectly with the Golf Garmin app, which costs about $100 a year or $10 a month. However, that gives you access to Home T Hero's 42,000 different courses that you can play on the simulator. And if you're not a fan of that, you can use outside simulators such as E6 Connect or GS Pro. The fourth point we're going to talk about is the overall portability of the R10. You can see how tiny this thing is. You can bring it literally anywhere with you, to the range, in my garage. The only downside is it's got to be 7 feet behind you. So you may be lacking a little bit in space that the Garmin R10 needs to read accurately. The other downside with the portability is it's got to be on a level surface. So some may consider buying a leveler and laser just so it's reading the most accurate that it can read. And the last point we're going to be talking about today are the downsides of the Garmin R10. As I mentioned previously, you do need quite a bit of space for the Garmin R10 to read accurately, and it's recommended that you give it at least 7 feet behind the striking area in order for it to give correct data. The second downside of this is if you're a scratch golfer or you're looking to shape shots and see how that spin is looking, it's not going to be precise. Especially indoors, there are things that you can do to improve this, such as the reflective RCT Titleist golf balls, but it's not going to be entirely accurate. And the last downside I have is compared to newer models such as the Rapsodo MLM2 Pro or Voice Caddy, the app just feels a little bit outdated and could use an update. So in conclusion, is the Garmin R10 worth it in 2025? I think it's up for you guys to decide. As far as launch monitors under $1,000 go, the Garmin R10 and Rapsodo MLM2 Pro are the only two options I think you should be looking at. However, if you have a higher budget, I would go with a Skytrack. It's more accurate and it requires less space. With that being said, if you can find something like the Garmin R10 like I did on Facebook Marketplace or a third-party reseller for under $400, I would absolutely take this puppy. The data that it provides is incredible, and it does a lot of good things. You can play the 42,000 courses for only $10 a month, which for a college student like myself is affordable. If you guys are interested in any of the products that are included in my simulator, check out my first YouTube short, and that'll give you all the details on everything that I purchased.